an individual by the name of Orson Welles. Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, through the use of groundbreaking new film technology and technique, broke barriers in the world of cinema, blazing a trail for the modern era of the motion picture industry. A 2020 National History Day documentary on Citizen Kane. Masterpiece. The word masterpiece has a rather interesting history in of itself. In the modern era, its etymology has evolved to refer to any great work of art. Yet originally, it referred to a piece of work the apprentice would present before becoming a member of a guild, a piece of work that displayed the full command and potential of their skill for their art. A workpiece that would make them worthy of being called a master. Orson Welles was but 25 years old when he crafted his complete masterpiece. Despite being a box office failure upon its release, Citizen Kane has gone down as arguably one of the most important pieces of film ever made, if not the best film ever made, as can be seen by its critical reception.
The name Citizen Kane has become one and the same with greatness, but why? What makes Citizen Kane so grand? The evolution of film is a slow, grueling process. However, sometimes a film, a piece of cinema, will break out with radical new ideas which shakes the foundation of the medium before being transformed into part of the everyday mainstream. As slowly, year by year, decade by decade, every one of these ideas, these sparks of ingenuity and experimentation, push the form of film further. On occasion, a movie is released, so jam-packed with new, modern, contemporary ideas that this evolution of cinema seems to skip near a millennium almost overnight. Citizen Kane is one of those such films. It may be difficult in the modern day to see how revolutionary Kane was, as its once radical ideas have made their way into the commonplace, but when chopping it up into its core components, Kane's influence on the modern film is impossible to ignore. These components can be broken down into three main categories. Cinematography, storytelling, and practical effects. And type of camera lens to produce the desired effect. With deep focus, a filmmaker can showcase overlapping actions, and the physical environment in which a film takes place becomes even more critical. Effectively manipulating the physical environment in which a film takes place for deep focus actively engages the whole space of the frame without leaving the viewer confused. This concept demonstrates just one of the barrier-breaking techniques Orson Welles and his team managed to pull off to put Citizen Kane above the rest and make its mark on history, and can be shown in the scene in which a young Charles Foster is seen playing in the snow outside the window. As the camera moves throughout the scene, both the young Charles Foster and the interior both stay in focus. While cinematography was truly Toland's game, Wells specialized in perfecting storytelling within the film. The use of multiple narrators presents the pretense of a puzzle waiting to be solved by the audience. The use of symbolism, such as the no trespassing sign on Cain's mansion, tell the audience that Cain is a secluded man whose secrets we are meant to know. The use of the word as muttered in Cain's final moments lends itself to reverse storytelling, a fairly uncommon convention back then. Wells was able to take the old convention of stitching together photographs into a coherent message and add depth. We look at modern day film and find movies complex and ridden with subtext, but without Cain, we'd be stuck watching the same old-fashioned hero's journey again and again. Without Wells' breaking of barriers in storytelling, who knows what the modern landscape of film could have ended up looking like. Movies throughout history have utilized special effects in a variety of ways to convey their unique vision to the audience. Citizen Kane took this realm of the film world and broke barriers within it to craft new, never-before-seen practical effects that would become mainplays in cinema years later. Matte paintings and optical printing, miniature models along with makeup make up the biggest effects pioneered by Kane. Matte painting is a technique utilizing 2D images placed or painted in the background of a shot in order to make the scene feel larger and more expansive. The infamous rally scene from Kane utilized this effect beautifully, being almost completely made up of matte paintings. These matte paintings were used in conjunction with a technique known as optical printing. Optical printing, to keep it in short terms, involved using machinery to edit frame by frame of a film in order to remove any evidence of effects. This gave off the impression of invisible effects, allowing for shots to convey controlled movement of items in air without any strings or similar manipulation of the scene space. Not only did it allow for that, but it also allowed for crisper, more clear shots when needed. Errors could be corrected and things meant to go unseen would. One area which is meant to go unseen, or more so just unnoticed, are miniatures. Miniature replicas of people, places, and things made for easier manipulation by the filmmaker. Where Kane shines the most, however, are the makeup techniques employed upon Kane. With these effects, artists were able to make him age seemingly overnight. Techniques, bear in mind, that are still being used today, seen as recently as 2019's The Irishman, albeit with a few modern additions. It is in those ways, and much more, that Wells through Citizen Kane was able to provide a film that Roger Ebert said in 1998 was one of the true miracles of film. Wells managed to bring about a revolution among directors, screenwriters, and just about everyone else involved in the world of filmmaking. It is in this way that Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, through the use of groundbreaking new film technology and technique, broke barriers in the world of cinema, blazing a trail for the modern era of the motion picture industry.